Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-Week Challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
So I switched my insurance to State Farm, and get this. I talked to an actual State Farm agent who lives in my actual town. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town gave me actual help with the coverage I needed. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town who gave me actual help actually knows my name. And get this. They actually say it's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques and pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
Muchachos has been Lincoln's leader for New Mexican barbecue for a few years now, and they've expanded into Omaha. That's right, you can get all your favorites like the pipeline burrito with 3 meats, rice, beans, queso, and crushed chips, or any of their great taco options in Lincoln or Omaha. Plus, they want to give back, as the Malachi Coleman Give-A-Rito, a 2-meat hatchback burrito, gives proceeds to the Fly Like Kai Foundation for the Lincoln foster care community. Stop by Muchachos in Lincoln at 11th and L, or in Omaha at 1258 South 13th Street.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
On a beautiful Thursday here in the capital city, I'm Austin Norman. Erick Strickland joins me remote. Stricky, long time no chat. We talked about some Big Ten basketball stuff with Nick and Rico, so we will skip over that for the time being, maybe dive back into it tomorrow as we talk a little Huskers and South Carolina State. We want to thank Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul for sponsoring our show. They're down at 29th and Pine Lake. Open for you for lunch and dinner. Stricky, let's dive into the NFL. We're getting down to crunch time. 2 weeks left, 2 games left for every team, and the playoff picture is getting pretty convoluted. I'm going to start with my Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, you know they are near to my heart, occasionally dear. The Colts collapsed last year. They had the playoff bid in their sights, and they end up losing like 3 of their last 4 games, including one to the Oakland Raiders, a team that was in free fall and some dismay under Josh McDaniels. Not a lot was going right for them. The Colts find a way to lose that game. Well, Strick, my Colts are staring disaster in the face yet again. They have a manageable slate of backup quarterbacks on the schedule, and they took care of the Steelers in a not so pretty game, and they turn right around and lose to Atlanta. We know Atlanta hasn't been very good. And granted, it was on the road on Christmas. They're fighting for their playoff lives. But at the same time, Atlanta doesn't know what it is at quarterback. Gardner Minshew is not a starting quarterback. Strick, I'm worried that the Colts are going to trick this thing off 2 years in a row. With everything to gain, I'm worried about another collapse.
Well, if you're a big movie connoisseur like I am, and you've watched The Matrix and you've had an opportunity to do that, there's a black cat that kind of goes down and he shakes his tail a little bit in his body. And then, Neo, the one, looks at him and says, looks back, and the cat does a shimmy again, and it's deja vu is what they called it. And there's a change in the Matrix once deja vu happens. And this is where the Colts find themselves in this position with a deja vu eyeing them, not necessarily black cat, but a black colored Raiders team in which they're going to have to face in order to make their project of the projection come through as far as landing in the NFL playoff. Right now, there are a lot of people are predicting them to be the 7th seed, but at the end of the day, it's all a matter of what you do right now that's in front of you, and that's the opportunity to put the Raiders away, and don't give them a sniff of an opportunity to feel good about themselves sneaking in once again.
That's just the thing. The Raiders right now have a 13% chance of making the playoffs, which isn't nothing, but obviously they need a lot of help. If their chances would go up to about 30% with a win over the Colts, who would, I think, push their number over 50% if they end up getting a win. Let's move on through, or 70%, I should say. So if the Colts win, it seems like they're 70% in. They play Las Vegas, and then they also have Houston. CJ Stroud was back at practice. Houston will have a lot to say in this playoff race as well. At the top of the AFC, though, Strick, and what this could mean for a team even a little bit lower down, you get Miami versus Baltimore. One of the early season darlings in the AFC in Miami. The numbers that Tua and Tyreek Hill were putting up. Dolphins squeak out a win over the Cowboys on Christmas Day with the field goal. And then Baltimore dominates San Francisco in the final 3 quarters of that game, trying to plant its flag as the best team in the NFL. This one has a lot to say, not only about the AFC 1 seed, but a win by the Ravens over the Dolphins gives Buffalo a chance to still win that division if they take care of business this week too.
Which is crazy, right? Because everybody thought the Bills was out of it. And I'm even sure Jay was kind of shaking his head back there in studio, coming back in after a weekend of watching the Bills just really vomit all over themselves, basically. It looked like they were drunk sailors in a bar, and you just didn't know what the heck was going to happen once you walked into the bar with those guys in there. But at the end of the day, they turned it around. Even turning it around without one of their major pieces in Stephon Diggs being just a big impact out there. It's pretty much Cook is getting them some run room and hitting holes real hard, and then all of a sudden Josh is starting to just find other guys, and other guys are stepping up and they're starting to win games. And there's nothing really Stephon can say about it, because it's not that he's not being targeted. He's still being targeted the most, but he's not just getting production out of his target. So they've got to figure it out, and they're doing so. And look, this is huge in so many ways, not just for the Bills, but what can the Dolphins do to position themselves for a better run? This is what they're sitting on as well. And so this is a big game to figure out where that's all going to play itself out in the last few days or last few weeks.
Starter Heyman text line, give us your thoughts on who the 3 wildcard teams are in the AFC and the NFC. 402-464-5685. Let us know who you think snag all 3 of those final spots. A couple other interesting games here, Strick. The NFC South divisional race is still alive and well, with 3 of those teams sitting at either 7 or 8 wins right now. You have the Saints and the Bucks this week. The Steelers and the Seahawks interest me. These are 2 teams absolutely fighting for their playoff lives. The Steelers beat the Bengals last week, 34-11. They dominate that game up front. With a win over Seattle, Pittsburgh's chances go to 32%, all the way down to 6% with a loss, where if you look at Seattle, this game can essentially push them over the finish line, give them an 87% shot at the playoffs if they win. This might be, for my money, the most impactful swing game of the weekend.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, because it's definitely an on the line type of game. It's put up or shut up, or step up or step out. That's kind of what's going on in this specific instance. So we're gonna get a good look and see what each team. You got the Steel City, and then you've got the 12th man. Which side is going to be happy at the end of the day when this all goes down?
In the NFC North, you have the Packers at the Vikings. You saw Detroit go into Minnesota last week and end up wrapping up the NFC North title. Minnesota's got a chance to not only defend home turf this week, unlike it did last week, but Strick, the Vikings basically have to win this game. The Packers also haven't been playing the best on defense, but the Vikings are down to Jaron Hall, who they named their starter at quarterback, with Nick Mullins being the backup. The winner in this game has a better than a coin flip odd at 50% to go to the playoff. The loser goes down to less than 5%. This is maybe the ultimate control your own destiny game, and you get to beat a rival to control your own destiny. Obviously, you want to beat them every time because they're a divisional rival, and there's a lot of history between those 2 teams. But Green Bay's struggling defense versus Minnesota's, merry-go-round at quarterback. I'm curious to see if the defense gets right against a backup quarterback, or if the backup quarterbacks have an easier time against a struggling defense.
And see, that's the crazy part about it. But I want to even go a little bit further and just say this: which quarterback do you believe in more? Right?
I don't know. They brought Dobbs in, and I think Dobbs is probably the most consistent backup, but he's down at 3rd string, doesn't really know anyone. Mullins had those flashes as a 49er. Played all right last week, put some yards up, but the 4 picks isn't good, obviously. Tried to force one in at the end of the game to Justin Jefferson to get them down closer to the end zone. So then you're left with a rookie in Jaron Hall out of BYU. So right now, I would probably say roll Nick Mullins out there. I know he didn't perform the best with the interceptions, but I think, he got back into game rhythm, game routine, game reps. He gets a lesser challenge with the Green Bay defense. I would have rolled with Nick Mullins myself.
Yeah. And so then once you get to that, then you've got to look at the comparison. Which system is home field advantage matter? And then which quarterback do you feel is best suited? Because I still believe ultimately it comes down to the quality play of a quarterback. And, which one you're going to believe in and which one you're going to trust when it really matters. And that's where your decision would come, I think, Austin, at that point. And what say you as far as now you've gotten to Mullins, you feel he's the one that's going to give you the best shot. Now in the matchup, which one do you think then wins out?
Still Jordan Love. I mean, he's had his ups and downs, but I feel much more confident in a starter Jordan Love with the whole team behind him than a backup trying to win it over in his second game or a rookie. So yeah, I would trust the Packers offense. I think Aaron Jones had a better game last week after a few rough performances. I still think I like Green Bay on the road, but Minnesota's got to lay it all out on the line this week. I mean, you don't have another shot, essentially, even though you have one more game to play. This is your playoff chances. You have to win this one. It's kind of like a game 6 right now, Strick. You're down 3-2. If you win this game, you at least give yourself a chance in the next one. But if you lose this game, you're good as gone.
There it is. And that's why I wanted to throw it to you, because sometimes it's just that, we know what pundits are saying and all of that. And look, the numbers and all of that, the math and the arithmetic and all that stuff, the stuff that I wasn't good at, Austin. I mean, I can do it. I'm not bad at it, but let me just say I more hated to do it. I didn't really like to do it. But at the same time, that's when you then have to take your thoughts out of it, then begin to process it, and then give yourself, by way of average or viewpoint, how you think it's going to turn out. And then you make a decision. And that's the way I think I try to make my assessments and what I see. And, a lot of people, I think, even when we talk about Nebraska basketball, I could tell you that a lot of people was thinking I was crazy, that I was saying that this team is better than what you actually think they are. They're not what, the old Nebraska teams. They're teams that you actually, they've got some pieces, some things that they could do some be versatile with. And that makes a difference in the game. Now, how that's going to end up, I still don't know. That's going to be that's a heart thing, right? That's do you want it? Do you want more than what the expectations of people lay upon you? And so that's why I think this is the same thing in the decision that you just made and the way that you went about it.
Williams on Facebook, thanks for tuning in here. One other game to get to here, Strick. I skipped over it because I think we can have some more discussion on it. You have Cincinnati going to Kansas City. This would have been a marquee matchup before the year, Burrow versus Mahomes. The kind of budding rivalry between those two, especially come playoff time. They've had some really good battles. It seemed like Cincinnati was kind of Kansas City's kryptonite there for a couple years before the Chiefs got over that hump. But Joe Burrow, we know, out for the year with the injury to Jake Browning for the Bengals, and a scuffling or completely struggling Chiefs offense, however you want to look at it. This game means more, I think, for Cincinnati, just because, again, got to have it to stay alive in this playoff race. You lose to Pittsburgh last week. Again, divisional game with playoff implications. You have Cleveland, a divisional game that will probably, again, mean more to you than it will to Cleveland, who seems like they're in pretty good position to make the playoffs. That game's next week. Kansas City looking to wrap up the division. They still don't have it in their grasp because Denver and Oakland are still mathematically alive, thanks to their victories over the Chiefs earlier in the year. I think the NFL's obviously bummed that not only Joe Burrow has his injury, but that Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense are struggling. This could have been the marquee primetime game. And now I think it's just another game in the NFL Sunday slate at this point.
Yeah, Austin, I can't even refute that. I think you're right. I think more people are just going to be looking at this Kansas City game just to see if there's a continual free fall in their play. Is there continuing crybaby antics in the aftermath if they don't come up? They're trying to figure out a way as to what Kansas City team is going to show up, or have they finally been exposed? I think teams are still, I think people are still kind of in a stupor a little bit, kind of just looking around like, what the heck is going on? Because there's not too much different a distinction from what this team is to what that team that won it was. You still have those same integral pieces. At that point, you felt plug and play, throw a few guys back in there and you got the same thing going, but that ain't really the case. And for whatever reason, they figured it out, and they figured out how to scheme it up, and it's causing the Kansas City Chiefs to struggle a little bit.
Should be a fascinating NFL weekend slate. We'll step aside when we get back. The Michigan sign stealing scandal, kind of back in the news at Rose Bowl presser day. Far-reaching tendrils even to Alabama. This kind of cracks me up. We'll tell you what Alabama is doing to try to solve Michigan and prevent any issues as we wrap up hour one of On the Block here in just a sec.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top shelf liquor to crowd favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
So I switched my insurance to State Farm, and get this. I talked to an actual State Farm agent who lives in my actual town. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town gave me actual help with the coverage I needed. And get this. My actual agent in my actual town who gave me actual help actually knows my name. And get this. They actually say it's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Kreekak, at 402-474-1173.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Don't forget to stop by the Rail Yard Rink, now open in downtown Lincoln. The Rail Yard Rink is proudly presented by the Lincoln Stars and is in operation until mid-February. You're bound to make great winter memories ice skating in the heart of the capital city. Lincoln Stars players will be making appearances at the Rail Yard Rink throughout the winter months to meet and greet with fans. For a full schedule of the Rail Yard Rink, please visit LincolnStars.com and click on the Rail Yard Rink drop-down option on the Community tab.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
This is Jeff Essing, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-week challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up hour one of On the Block here with some college football news as we move into a pretty heavy college football hour two here on the show. We go to the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all, out in Pasadena, California. That will be the matchup between Alabama and Michigan in the college football playoff, the 1-4 matchup, of course. They had their media session this morning, and it was reported, Strick, that Alabama hasn't let players watch film on their own iPads as a protective measure against the Michigan sign-stealing scandal. Kind of funny on its face that, the Michigan scandal has reached this far to where Alabama, Nick Saban, notoriously paranoid and safe and protective, isn't letting guys watch film A, on their own or B, even on their iPad. But that would be the next level for Michigan. Like, at least they were doing it in person. Like, if they were able to hack into Alabama's team's players' iPads, like, let them have it. The level of sophistication that would take, whatever, man.
Yeah, man. That's next level. But listen, it could be smoke and mirrors, or it could be mental trickery. And here's why I say that. One, it's like a okay, if you've ever watched really good prison movies, all right, there's scenes in the movies. I'm just a big movie buff, so whenever I talk about scenes, this is how this comes about. There's scenes in movies, right, where guys are on the yard or they're in the dining chow place, right, where you eat, and a guy walks by, he passes him a shank. And the guy's, got the shank low key. He's got the enemy in sight, and he goes by him and he hits him with a little shank. And the dude like sitting there, he feels something like a pin, but he don't realize it. And then he like looks up and he's got blood on his side, right? And the guy's gone. You don't even know who did it. You just know you got shanked. You don't even know who did it. And so here's what the reason I say that is this. In these situations, it's mental trickery. So what they're doing is they're shanking them a little bit, low key, right? Mm-hmm. They're shaking Michigan a little bit, letting them know that we know who you are. You're cheaters, right? Without saying it, not like that's like cannon fodder. And see, some of you guys be missing my little analogies, but they be so on point. It's cannon fodder. If he just goes out on stage, stands up there and just starts blabbing away about Michigan and who they are, and we're not doing it for this reason. But it's a little shank. It hits you because they're not really saying it, but they're saying it, right? But here's the other piece of it. It's another thing to just really get your team together. So a lot of times you can get into individual mode when you're just on your iPads, the same way we just be sitting around at dinner on our phones, or whatever the case may be, the conversations we used to have as families at family time, Christmas, Thanksgiving, sitting down together, talking about life, the year, what's going on, what you've been up to, how was school. Those conversations have gone out the window because people are they be sitting at the table with their phones. That's the thing that I believe Alabama was trying to do. They're basically saying, we're doing this for this reason, so that the team they don't lose the team thinking, oh, that's some bull junk, that's cap. No, man, I can't believe coach, they bugging. You start talking like that inside the locker room, and then you can go out and drop and lay an egg. It's a unity thing because they really want to possibly. Now, look, I'm only speculating, but I'm kind of a little different thinker. Some of y'all be thinking I'm crazy. Some of y'all be listening like, what the heck is Strick talking about? But if you really look beyond just the surface of what I'm saying, you're now getting players together in groups, unified, watching film together, seeing what they see, talking about what they. Yes. And it's a low-key way of doing it by also throwing shanks at Michigan. I don't know. It took a long time for me to get to that, but if you missed that, you missed that. You might want to go back and get the rewind tape on YouTube or Twitch or Twitter, because that's a gem right there that I just dropped on y'all that y'all wouldn't even thought about had I not dropped that one.
How many
That's
other
real talk.
coaches?
I guarantee you none of y'all thought about it that way. I guarantee you none of y'all. And if I'm lying, hit me on the Sauter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685, because I still don't believe you.
How many other coaches are able to do that? Like, I feel like this
That's
is
what I'm saying.
masterclass.
That's what I'm saying. Saban is next level. And you've seen it over the years, but you didn't see it because he did it just so mild-manneredly. He did it just, so subtly. You
saw the result. You didn't see the work behind the scenes or the explanation of it.
Facts. It's an anomaly for him to do what he's done with all the coaching changes, players leaving, shifts in the way the game is being done, recruiting, all of that. But yet he continues to still remain up there. He's a master at that stuff. Controversies on hires. He's dealt with all that stuff, but some way he's still been able to keep it together. And it comes down to me that it's a system, not a scheme. As Jay would talk about, it's a system. And everybody that comes in, whether you're a coach, when he sits you down, he finds out about you, understands a little bit more depth with you. But then if you ain't down with the system, you ain't gonna make it here.
That's come up a couple times here in a couple different conversations, the scheme versus system. So I highly recommend, like Strick said, go back through this conversation, but also other conversations. I know I posted a clip about it on Twitter not too long ago about the difference between scheme and system, where, Saban's a system guy. He's not a scheme guy, right? He's flexible, he's adaptable, finds ways to mold what he wants to do around the talent he has. We'll definitely talk more about Alabama and Michigan, that matchup, and the whole college football playoff, the whole New Year's 6 slate of bowl games. That'll be tomorrow. Coming up in hour number 2 of the show, we'll continue this college football talk, look at today's bowl games, look at the weekend or the Friday's bowl games, today's bowl games, and tomorrow's. Before we go to break those, Strick, it would be shootout with Strick time. I'm going to ask you this question. You'll give a number. Let's do texter number 5 on the text line. With the right answer, over under gets the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. All right, Strick, you have Miami
or push. Dang it!
True. it will be a push at this point. There is a push option for this question. So yes, over under or push. Texter 5 with the right answer. Miami and Rutgers playing in the Pinstripe Bowl in New York City right now at Yankee Stadium. Strick, how many times has Rutgers football defeated Miami?
2.
Tricky says 2. Final answer?
Final answer.
Okay. Over, under, push. 2 times that Rutgers has defeated Miami in football. Let us know on the Sauter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. Texter number 5 with the right answer gets the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Plenty more college football to come. The upcoming bowl slate, and also who is the bigger snub? Tommy Frazier or Ndamukong Suh for the Heisman Trophy. We'll dive into the numbers, have some discussion on that, and more in hour 2 of On the Block.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends. Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through January 2nd is spend $40, get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3. Also, get 15% off wine and spirits only at the North Lincoln location. Don't forget their 2 new locations, now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
New year, new career. The new year is just around the corner. Why not start it off strong with a new career? General Excavating is looking for qualified underground utility project managers. Check out our website, generalexcavating.com, or call 402-467-1627 for more information. Happy holidays from General Excavating.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, some patchy fog expected this morning, and we'll see mainly cloudy skies for the rest of the day. Afternoon high should top out around 35. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies with a low around 23. And tomorrow, most sunny skies return. We'll see a high around 37. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clicker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of the show here on a Thursday, heavy into college football, right in the swing of bowl season. We'll talk today's and tomorrow's matchups today. We'll talk New Year's 6 college football playoff tomorrow. I'm Austin Norman, joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland. Our show proudly presented by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. All right, Strick, going into break, I asked you a question. How many times has Rutgers football defeated Miami? Your guess was?
2.
2 times. The answer? Under. Rutgers.
0. Never. I knew it. I was going to say that, but I wanted somebody to win the Stricken. I didn't want nobody to lose today. That's why I was going to say 1, but then I was like, no, I'll just say 2.
But push is an option, Stricky.
I know I could have heard, but I'm in a giving spirit. It's a new year. You know, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. You know what I mean? I want to be more forgiving. I don't want to have to duke up and have too many, not this time of the season. It's a giving season. I feel giving and forgiving.
Fair enough. Good guy, Stricky, making sure that the Stricken got given away. Brett is the winner. Brett, 30 days to come in and pick up your $30. I took a look at that Rutgers-Miami series too, Strick. Of course, they played a pretty good number of times when both of those schools were members of the Big East Conference. The closest game between the two, 14 points. The next closest game between the two is like 24 points. Not particularly close, kind of what you expect between, a near blue blood college football program in Miami and a place like Rutgers. That's the trivia question because they're playing in a bowl game. Again, the Pinstripe Bowl up in New York City today. You did just have Boston College beat SMU 23-14 just down the Beltway there in Boston in the Fenway Bowl. Couple games to get to yesterday, Strick, that stood out to me. West Virginia dominates North Carolina 30-10, Mountaineers over the Tar Heels. Again, we talked about the difference in expectations and desire to be in that bowl game. West Virginia happy to make a bowl game, save its coach's job. North Carolina, a little bit of a disappointing season for them. But the real surprise to me was Louisville and USC, a holiday bowl game. Again, pretty much a home game for USC being played out in San Diego. But this is a USC team, Strick, that was basically a dumpster fire on defense all year. A Louisville offense that really ticked up both passing and running under Jeff Brom's direction. You have Jawar Jordan and Jack Plummer leading the way for the Cardinals, who also had a pretty stingy defense, all things considered. USC down to its third-string quarterback, Lincoln Riley, kind of on the hot seat, it seems like. I thought Louisville was going to win this game, if not, handily, somewhat comfortably. But here comes Miller Moss. Yeah, Miller Moss, the third-string quarterback for USC. 6 touchdown passes. That's a USC record. And that, to me, Strick, is part of the fun of bowl season, especially with all the opt-outs. You never know who's going to be the hero. It might be some guy by the name of Miller Moss playing third-string quarterback for USC.
Well, right. That's what's crazy, but he looked phenomenal. And I think that's the thing I talked about is preparation, no matter what the situation, will set you up for elevation. And so that's something that you got to see witness right before your eyes, is that young man was absolutely ready for the moment. And he played. I mean, I watched some of the throws he made. I mean, and I'm talking about tight window throws. Like, it just wasn't all just sling it around and throw it all out just all over the place. It was some of that, but at the same time, there were some throws he had to make, man. And to break a record with 6 TDs, a Holiday Bowl record with 6 TDs, in the way that you did it, the confidence that young man has to have going into the offseason is going to be just through the roof. And that's going to be fun to see what happens thereafter for them.
USC, of course, loses Caleb Williams to the NFL draft. You lose Malachi Nelson to the transfer portal. They've been interested in Will Howard, the Kansas State quarterback, as a transfer. Lincoln Riley did say, though, that Miller Moss gave him something to think about. You don't have a guy on your roster, keep him around if you don't give him a chance to compete and win the job. But I think that was the prevailing thought, is that USC dips back into the transfer portal in a make-or-break year for Lincoln Riley, really, at this point. But good on Miller Moss, because, Strick, you talk about opportunity like a door. So many guys try to slide through or the door closes on him. That young man kicked that sucker down. It is not being rebuilt.
He blew the door up. To me, it looks like a SWAT team that comes in and places those charges on the door. He blew the door off the hinges. I mean, it ain't, like you said, there ain't no door there, or that big hammer thing he slammed that thing open with that opportunity like that, man. I feel those are the stories I like to hear, because that's a story I've witnessed my own, right? So I love to hear stories like that. But then the work is not done until you come back and you duplicate, or you go and replicate and go to a whole nother level with it, right? You become just a continuation and a growth and replicating the magic that you just performed, and you do that on a consistent basis. You got a chance to do something great.
You sure do. Speaking of that opportunity, Strick, here's a question from the text line that I think is worth diving into. BJ in Wichita at 402-464-5685 asks, is it safe to say that the Nebraska football brand for the foreseeable future is the Raiola brand now, and that Rule and Albert's future here is tied to Dylan Raiola's success being a winner at Nebraska? Your thoughts, Husker Hall of Famer?
Boy, I wish I need to put that. Hey, BJ in Wichita, just note, I'm putting that out on the stream, because that is a great question. That's one of the best questions that I've seen in a while, because that breaks it down and goes deeper than just the fact of what he's going to do, what his numbers look like. If he's happy, is he going to be in the transfer? That breaks all of that. I don't know if I have an answer for it.
Spitball.
I will say my initial thought is yes, but my also initial thought is I'm hoping that 3 times a charm. You feeling me, Austin?
Talk to me. Keep it coming.
I'm hoping 3 times is a charm, because we've had 2 Martinez's come in with same type of hype and has not performed. Speaking of what we talked about, 3rd time, I'm hoping the 3rd time is not a strikeout, but the 3rd time is a home run. It's 3-0, fastball down the middle, and it's not Ohtani on the mound. It's somebody else, and we're hitting homers. But at the same time, I want to look at the last time I believe that we've had greatness at the position was talking about the man that you're going to be talking about, and that's Tommy Frazier as a freshman.
Right. And that's been a long time now. I mean, we've had some relatively successful freshman campaigns. You look at Taylor Martinez, Adrian Martinez were good as freshmen, but they plateaued. Strick. They didn't keep getting better. And Dylan Raiola, you hope he comes in and elevates the quarterback position for Nebraska from what it was last year, but he can't be done there. That can't be enough. It's just like you're talking about with Miller Moss, right? It's one thing to do it. It's a completely separate thing to do it again and do it better, to replicate and expand on what it is. And that, to me, is going to be the important part for Nebraska. But as I look at this, Strick, is it safe to say the Nebraska football brand for the foreseeable future is the Raiola brand, I think there's a potential positive and a potential negative in turning the Nebraska brand into the Raiola brand. Like we said, when he committed or was about to commit, one player, one last name cannot be allowed to be bigger than the program. It just can't happen, right? You have to prioritize long-term health and success of Nebraska football over Dylan Raiola, right? You hope that he committed to Nebraska because he buys into Matt Rule's plan, that he's willing to be an important cog in the machine, but still just a cog in that machine in moving Nebraska, back to the heights that Matt Rule wants it to go to, the fans want it to go to, yada, yada. At the same time, I think that for as, not flashy a guy as Matt Rule is, as, gritty and tough and developmental as he is, I think some of the flash, the sizzle, the panache that Dylan Raiola can bring gives other guys the opportunity to develop behind the scenes. If all the eyes are going to be on the quarterback position, that's a lot of pressure on that young man, and you hope he has the support system inside the walls of that new facility, in his coaches and in his family to handle it well. But because there's so much on his shoulders, Strick, I think there are going to be some guys at other positions, whether it's the young developing wide receivers, an unsettled running back room, a retooling offensive line, a tight end position still kind of in flux, looking for a long-term answer. Some of those positions I think might fly a little bit under the radar, and it might be easier for those guys to grow, without hearing their name in the headlines so much, because Dylan Raiola is taking up, so much of that airspace.
So here's the thing that you hope doesn't happen. When you talk about someone else's brand and a name of that specific person being here, Raiola, when you think about that part of it, Austin, here's what you don't want. You don't want conversations in the locker room, side eyes in the locker room, smirks when he walks by, or your lineman basically saying he ain't without me. He ain't dump without me. You know what I'm saying? That's what you don't want to happen. So this is where it's up to Rule and it's up to Raiola to basically operate with the spirit of humility and reach out and touch and spend time and use some of that NIL money. And, hey, I got y'all. We going out to steak tonight, my boys. Like do stuff like that. And I'm not talking about just the lineman room. I'm talking about, yo, man, listen, we're gonna go up to Omaha and we're gonna go to, the old market. And I got y'all, man. Let's go. And I'm talking about do different things with different groups at different times. Man, we going bowling tonight, tight end room, and I would use that because if you want to get the best out of people, touch them where they are. Don't look over them. Don't look beyond them. Don't think of them as something to be just used and abused. But boy, oh boy, make sure you make them a part of your atmosphere that you want to see created. If you want a golden, you want the golden arches, and I'm not talking about McDonald's.
I thought you were.
Golden arches, and you want the paved streets with gold at the end of that the block on the block. Then I'm telling you, you want to think about things like that, because if you just only thinking about you, there might be a whiff or two at the tackle position. There might be a blitz that's not picked up. There might be a running back that might drop a ball and it's wide open just because he's like, about that. And it's sad, but you just don't realize people do get to that point where they're just, and in basketball, we call it freeze out. Austin, we'll freeze you out. Like, we'll see you on a rotation wide open, but I would much rather drive than to see you win.
And I think that's a tricky line for a young man to walk, right, Trick, with all the expectations coming in, because he has to be confident, but he can't be cocky. I know that, he's been around, NFL locker rooms. He's rubbed elbows with Matthew Stafford and Patrick Mahomes, John Kitna, guys like that have had to command a locker room. It's one thing to be around those guys and take the lessons from them and see what it is they do. But Strick, he's doing this for the first time at the college level. He's coming in still trying to get himself settled in a new place. It can feel like home as much as he says it does, but that locker room is new to him. and he's new to that locker room, right? That process of integrating himself as one of the guys, I think, is going to be something that we don't hear a lot about, because at least hopefully don't. You want that to stay within the walls of the locker room. But I think it'll be very obvious very early on that whether or not Dylan Raiola is, one of the guys while being, the best quarterback for this roster, or if he's trying to set himself apart on a pedestal, or even trying too hard to blend in instead of letting himself shine. Like, we might not hear it, but I think the results that we see and hear from spring ball and in those first couple games will tell us a lot about how not only Dylan Raiola is handling that locker room, but how that locker room has adapted to Dylan Raiola.
And to add on to that, Austin, you want it to be organic too, right? You don't want it to be forced. You don't want it to be, to be pushed into it. You don't want even to come across, if you're Dylan Raiola, you don't even want to come across as fake. Like, you don't want that. Like, okay, I'm just going to throw this out here. And this is conversations that I've heard. So I'm not talking about something that this isn't a speculation. This is stuff that I've heard around the block. Not on the block, but around the block.
Around, yes.
Okay, here's the thing. One of the issues that I found that was hard, and I think that's different between Rule and the previous regime, is that Scott Frost at times had been spoken of as coming off as fake. Only kind of acting a certain way in certain environments, maybe talking to you, but really don't want to mess with you, and say he wants to talk to you or take your phone call and then won't just like answer and just totally throw you to the side. Came off as fake, smiled in your face. And there's a song called Smile in Your Face all the time, trying to take your place. The backstabbers. Backstabbers. Yeah, that's something that kind of got out there in the wind. Now, look, what that can do is it can hinder your ability to touch, and it can hinder your ability to basically draw people in with you, to you, for a cause. Because ultimately, no one likes to deal with fake.
No, they never have, and they
nothing
never will.
Fake. Nothing fake. No one likes to deal with nothing fake.
No, absolutely not. And that's hard enough for a guy that's been there for 3 years, because every team's different, right? Guys come, guys go. That's the nature of college. It's the nature of the pros, right? The locker room is never the same year to year, no matter how many guys it is that you return. So again, that's where, to your point too, it requires that constant evolution, that tinkering, where it's not, changing your values or what you stand for, but sometimes you do need to change your approach for different guys. Like you said, take different position groups out to different outings, depending on where you can best connect with them. There's a lot on the plate for, one 18-year-old young man to do, even though he is enrolling early. Couple more things here from the text line. BJ in Wichita hits us back. If we had a 1-year buffer at quarterback, like a bridge quarterback, I'd feel much better. I don't like the idea of a true freshman starting day one in the new Big Ten. It's going to be part of the challenge.
That's what I've always been saying. This is why, to me, I think it was a huge thing. I mean, listen, we don't know what went on with the McCourt, but I would have loved to have somebody like that in the room at the same time. And even if it's not him, something like him, that you have a veteran mentality who just loves the game and was willing to compete and fight for it. And if I come up short, has the heart to stick in and just understand the process and help that young man develop. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I get it. I get that we're in a different day and age. Quarterback is a heavy, sought after commodity. So there's opportunities there, especially at the paperwork division of the quarterback position, that is going to afford young men to have great financial opportunities, because I guarantee you, some of them may not have that same opportunity. I don't care if they go and play in the Canadian Football League and there's really only a couple of options. You might get on a practice squad. You probably can still make more money as a starting quarterback in a Power 5 than you might ever make as a scout team quarterback. at the next level in the NFL. So just so a lot of these young men is trying to get it while it's hot, while the pot's hot.
4332 says Dylan isn't a normal true freshman. Guess we'll see. You hope he's advanced. You hope he's mature. But then if he is advanced for a freshman, he's got to stay advanced as a sophomore, stay advanced as a junior. And then hopefully if he's advanced as a junior, that means he's in the NFL.
Elite.
Right?
He's
elite.
elite.
There's that rule word. One other thing to get to here before we go to break here, Strick, and I think there's more on this that we can dig into. A couple more questions I have in our next segment. But Ryan in Nashville, you've chimed in a couple times. Appreciate you. He asks, do you think the offensive coordinator right now, that's Marcus Satterfield, is intimidated by Dylan a little? Like when they met for the first time, how does he approach it? What's it like dealing with a celebrity quarterback like Dylan Raiola? I'll say this, Strick, for as big a celebrity, as big a name, as big a get as Dylan Raiola is for Nebraska, if Marcus Satterfield is uncomfortable or doesn't know how to approach it, he's not the right man for the job. He is a grown man who has been around college football, has known a lot of football. We can critique his performance like we did before, but still, Marcus Satterfield, I still assume, knows more football than Dylan Raiola. Might have forgotten more football than Dylan Raiola knows. Marcus Satterfield has no reason to be intimidated by this 18-year-old kid. Like he just got out of high school. What does he know? What can he do that Marcus Satterfield can't? And let's not forget, Marcus Satterfield also worked with another one of those, quote unquote celebrity quarterbacks in Spencer Rattler at South Carolina. In Rattler, at least had a couple of years of experience, had that big NIL deal, at Oklahoma. I'm sure that transferred over to South Carolina to some degree. So Marcus Satterfield better not be intimidated by some 18-year-old kid.
Yeah. If that's the case, then college football is going to be lost. If that becomes the case where the members of the asylum begin to run the asylum,
right?
Yeah, because it's already hectic, it's already crazy. There's already dynamics in college football and sports, college sports as a whole, that are now changing the way it's being built and done and handled. So when that's the case, you don't want you still want some semblance of control and hierarchy and positioning. If that changes, it's going to be trouble.
It sure is. The other thing that I'll say to that too is it's different to be, intimidated by the challenge of recruiting or, have that feeling of nervousness and that, man, this kid's really good. I really like what I see on film. We've got to get this recruitment right. Like you can have the butterflies for the recruitment itself, but you better not have, the butterflies when you talk to an 18-year-old young man, right? You're the adult in the room. You're the mature one here. You have to be in command and control of the situation, right? Like there's absolutely, pressure in the recruitment, but you got him now, right? There's no reason to be nervous around an 18-year-old. Now just be at the top of your game calling plays and make sure you help him succeed.
Yeah, just get on the same page with him, identify with him. Have deeper conversations than just laying out play concepts, and have real conversations. Get to know the young man because he's going to be with you. Hopefully you're going to be there, not unless you plan to bounce and jump ship. But if he's going to be your guy, you want to know him because, again, what we're finding with coaches of the day, there's some that understand that recruitment is internal and external. It's year round because you got to figure out how to retain the guys that are on your roster already. So you got to re-recruit them, maybe recruit them in a different way. But then the ones that you got to go and try to bring in. So you obviously don't want you want high retention and is not as much turnover in your recruitment process. So get to know the young man so that the young man knows you, but then he also understands when you have to reprimand him or when you have to call on a demand for him, you've got that established rapport. So there's no animosity and friction that comes because of the way that you're coaching him. He understands you, you understand him. That's how you get the best out of him. And say what you will about it. I don't know where this frustration is coming from, but I guarantee you, even though you saw Mahomes frustrated, maybe didn't even like Bieniemy, but there was understanding there. You can hear it by their interviews. There was respect. So regardless of how bad he felt, how mad he got, or whatever the case may be, there was still respect there. So there was success in it as well. And so there was understanding, and there was deeper a relationship there than just the surface of just calling plays and being in the room and dealing with them on a professional level.
The duality of the text line rears its head here, Strick, at the end of this segment. We have John and Cortland saying, have a great night, gentlemen. John and Cortland, appreciate you. On the flip side, we have Wet Blanket. Strick's got truckloads of character, intelligence, and athleticism, but not an ounce of singing ability, although I appreciate the confidence to let it fly. Wet Blanket, be nice to my partner. You let it rip. I appreciate it. Strick, you have a beautiful voice. Don't listen to
hey, Wet Blanket, you're absolutely right, and God knew it too. That's why he gave me athletic ability and not singing ability, because I'd be on stage acting like Jodeci and acting like, what's my guy's name that used to sing on Steve Perry. I'd be up there acting like Steve Perry.
We wouldn't know who John Legend is if Stricky could sing.
Man, I'm telling you, God knew. He knew what to do. Don't give this man a voice. He would be out of control. OC Stricky. That's what they would be calling me.
Wild. We'll take a break. We'll keep this college football discussion going. More Nebraska, Dylan Raiola headlines next as we continue on the block.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through January 2nd is spend $40, get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3. Also, get 15% off wine and spirits only at the North Lincoln location. Don't forget their 2 new locations, now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for high-quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. We'd like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And to show our appreciation, Koppel is offering some huge holiday discounts from now until January 2nd. On select new Chevrolet vehicles, we are offering $8,000 off MSRP or 1.9% financing. Yes, you heard right. That's $8,000 off or 1.9% financing on select new Chevrolets. We also have some huge discounts on our new GMC inventory, so stop on in or check us out online at koppelcars.com. Includes finance, trade, and Costco bonus with roof credit. Stock number C299464.
Don't forget to stop by the Rail Yard Rink, now open in downtown Lincoln. The Rail Yard Rink is proudly presented by the Lincoln Stars and is in operation until mid-February. You're bound to make great winter memories ice skating in the heart of the capital city. Lincoln Stars players will be making appearances at the Rail Yard Rink throughout the winter months to meet and greet with fans. For a full schedule of the Rail Yard Rink, please visit LincolnStars.com and click on the Rail Yard Rink drop-down option on the Community tab.
This is Jeff Essink, owner of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping and host of Fitness Fanatics. Over the years, we've helped countless people gain strength, lose fat, build confidence, and change their life. And it all starts with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. Now is the best time to sign up with the new year right around the corner. You can enroll for the January 10-week challenge for only $299. That's 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching. Head to fxblincoln.com for more information on how to enroll. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
So he can maybe run a little
So like
bit of-
speed option, those things, all you want to do.
Speed, I can't see him.
It's also
Uh-oh.
Look what you did. Look what you did. Look at Bill.
Come on
Just
now.
calm down. I don't say anything about semicolons or should there be
Word
parentheses or too many commas over there.
Too many-
Come on. Run-on sentences. Don't talk about that. It's not my wheelhouse.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you here for another half an hour or so here on the show. Before we turn it over to old school Jay Foreman, will be there with us. We also have Kevin Myers Cork and Bottle in with us. Don't forget that On the Block is sponsored by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. We have got the Pinstripe Bowl on in studio here in Rutgers. Gave up the lead. They were down 17-14, but a defensive stand from the Scarlet Knights inside the Miami 10-yard line leads to a blocked punt, returned for a touchdown. That's right, the Scarlet Knights back in front. It's 21-17 now as they lead Miami in the Pinstripe Bowl. Greg Schiano fired up over the blocked punt by the Scarlet Knights. Strick, I want to keep going on the question we got from BJ in Wichita, and I'll throw it back on the stream here, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, available for people. Is it safe to say that the Nebraska football brand for the foreseeable future is the Raiola brand now, and that Rule and Albert's future here is tied to Dylan Raiola's success as being a winner here? I think there's plenty to dive into here because this is really strict, unprecedented territory. You bring up the name Tommy Frazier, the last time Nebraska had a quarterback recruit of this caliber. And of course, Dylan Raiola in the ratings era is the highest rated prospect. If he has Tommy Frazier level impact, that's automatically a win for Nebraska. But what does Tommy Frazier level impact mean for Nebraska? It could just mean 9 wins, right? It could mean you're playing in the Citrus Bowl or the Music City Bowl as the rest of the talent develops around, Dylan Raiola, maybe his younger brother Dayton, who holds a Nebraska offer right now. But I don't think that the expectations for Matt Rule are the same as they were, at the end of Scott Frost's tenure, right? Because by the end, what was Trev Alberts looking for? Progress. He said he didn't see enough progress, and that's why Scott Frost was let go. I think Trev Alberts is still looking for progress, and he wants all his programs to get better year after year. But if Nebraska gets to, let's say, 8 wins next year, 9 the year after that, and then it's 9 or 10 for the next couple years, even if Nebraska, isn't breaking through, such as it is from 9 wins to 11 wins or 9 to 12 wins, I think 9 gets them on the fringes of college football playoff contention. You're only halfway through the Rule contract. And I think that's enough progress, and that'd be a job well enough done that Trev Alberts won't be having the same conversations about, well, I'm not seeing enough progress from Matt Rule like he was at the end of the Scott Frost tenure.
How do you say I agree with you without saying I agree with you?
I concur. Oh, look at Stricky in the fireworks. You got that.
Yeah, that's what I do for you, man. I give you the 2 thumbs up. And check this out, bro. Here's another piece to consider. We got spoiled. You understand what I'm saying?
I think I know where you're going with this.
We got spoiled. And even though people may not have liked Bo Pelini and thought maybe he was too brash or, kind of carried an arrogance about him, you at least was winning games. You was at least playing in championship games. You may not have done well, but you was there. You get spoiled, but then when you get humbled, listen, I've been humbled. And there's nothing like understanding with humility what happened, what I need to do in order to change it, and then hold my head high and walk into it. The change that I'm looking for, not for anybody else, not for my neighbors, but for me, right? And I think Nebraska is at this point where that incremental success is going to be okay in their minds because they've known what it looked like to have success, but then they also know what it looked like to just be in the doldrums of the dungeon and not with any keys or any options and opportunities to get out. And now I think you can kind of see progress heading into the winning direction. And then this is where you can't just put too much onus on one young man. It's got to be a collective change of a mindset. And I think Rule is building that, man. I really do. I think he's starting to build that from the ground up, truly with foundational, man. And I said it before, I noticed it by way of not so many people jumping in the transfer portal. Now, listen, in spring, guys are going to have to because it's just a numbers game. You got too many numbers. Guys are going to jump. So, but this is the period because the guys are believing in the message that they're being told. The message, listen, the message they're being told, not sold. There's
That's an important difference.
There's an important difference. Told, not sold.
I think that it's believable that Nebraska wins, 9 games twice under Dylan Raiola, with him at quarterback. I think that's believable.
I think that's possible, yeah.
And then the guy after him, right? Keep it going. Keep it in that 8, 9, 10 win range. But where I think Matt Rule has it, I don't want to say easier necessarily than Bo Pelini, but a key distinction between those two coaches and the landscape of college football is that when Bo was coaching, it was all about conference championships. You needed those to stake your claim in the postseason. But Strick, I think Nebraska can kind of get back to Penn State territory, right? Penn State right now is it kind of where Nebraska was. Only that one conference championship back in 2016, kind of third fiddle in that Big Ten East. Like, they're really talented, and most other conferences, they'd be up in the, the championship discussion, but we haven't been able to take Penn State fully seriously because they lose to one of, if not both of, Ohio State and Michigan. But starting next year, they're a playoff team, right? They're in the 10-11 game right now with Ole Miss, and we'll talk more about that game tomorrow. But Penn State under James Franklin has been worthy of being in the 12-team playoff pretty much every year. The issue for them is it's been a 4-team playoff. The issue for them if there's no conference championship to go along with it. So I think that it's going to be easier for Nebraska, to take that step from the Bo Pelini-esque 9-3 to flip one or two of those games every year. You're 10-2, maybe 11-1 in your best years. And that way you're sitting there in that discussion for hopefully, the 8 or the 9 seed. But maybe if you sneak in at the 11 or the 12, you're at least making the playoff. And that's something Bo Pelini could never have said. And then you start dealing with the questions of, okay, is it not just enough to make the playoff anymore? How do we take that next step? How do we win a game? How do we get to hosting a game in the playoff? But I think that's going to be a simpler task for Matt Rule to accomplish, hopefully with Dylan Raiola, but probably the guy or the second guy after him. I think it's going to be easier to accomplish getting into a 12-team playoff than getting into a BCS championship or getting into a 4-team playoff.
Can I ask you a question?
Please. That's what we do on the show.
There's a team that establishes power, dominance, and has beat a swath of really good teams out here in the college football landscape, and arguably one of the toughest conferences this year. And which conference is that, Austin?
You're probably thinking Pac-12, aren't you?
Okay. There's a team by the name of Northwestern that freaking beat the Utah Utes 14-7 in the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. And everybody and their mama thought this team was going to fall off the freaking earth, and the earth was flat. They thought they were going to walk off the edge and it was over, and they were in the grave. The Undertaker was standing over him with his eyes rolled back, but he wasn't getting up. But gosh darn it, why Northwestern, with all of the adversity, with all of the turmoil, played a lot of the same teams that Nebraska played? You beat them, but yet they're 8-5 and won a bowl game. Help it make sense to me.
I'll give you 2 more examples even, Stricky. I'll go, just a couple hours south to Lawrence, Kansas, and Manhattan, Kansas. Kansas won 8 regular season games. Kansas State, played for a Big 12 championship. Why those schools, but not Nebraska? You're telling me Lincoln is less attractive to recruits than Manhattan and Lawrence? Are you telling me that here's the thing, Lance Leipold and Chris Kleiman are really darn good coaches. I'd like to think Matt Rule proves that he's on their level. Those are teams that are going to be in, the 12-team college football playoff race. Why can't Nebraska get back to that?
This is why I'm not going to accept mediocrity in this situation. Because any one of those programs could have at any given time. And I believe that they don't even have the resources that doggone Nebraska has.
Shouldn't be close.
Not even on the level, not in the football space.
No.
And yet it's still, they figured out a way. And that's a big win for Northwestern. I don't care what you say. That's huge. You go 8-5 and win a bowl game when everybody counted you out. And I'm not talking about new addition.
No. Or new subtraction, or new division, or new multiplication.
It's crazy. Help it make sense to me. Sutter Heyman text line, holla at your boy. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook stream, holla at you. Make it make sense to me as to the why. This is why I'm not going to accept mediocrity going forward. I can't do it because I'm seeing stories like this all across the board, all over the place. There's something someone else is doing, but why not here? At least at that level. At least at that level. At least.
That shouldn't be a big ask. Like, the bowl system is going to change, right? If the playoff is changing and expanding, the bowl system is going to change. But you can't tell me, I'm in lockstep with you, Strick, that there's no reason Nebraska can't do at least that. Will it be next year? You can cross your fingers and hope, and I think that's a reasonable expectation to have. But at the very least, in the next couple of years, you've got to see Nebraska, getting ready for a bowl game right now, having that media availability for a bowl game right now. You hope it's a New Year's Six bowl. You hope it's a playoff contention sort of game. But I think next year can still be, you put the finishing touches on the foundation of the Nebraska football house. And then you got to start putting the walls up. You got to start putting the siding up. Determine, which bedroom is for which person. Where's the dining room? How big's that table? Because Kansas and Kansas State remodeled their house. I mean, Kansas built a new house. Kansas State remodeled its house, and Northwestern went from living in a tent on the street, if it was lucky, to, hey, I got a nice little townhouse right here. Right? We're just asking for Nebraska to get back into a townhouse right now.
There was a time when the Jayhawks to Nebraska had almost a 30-game losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine what that was like? Like freaking Leipold going in there and taking over that program. I've got to stand up and salute him, man. That's phenomenal what you were able to do in that program. Nebraska is a football program, not basketball. That's a basketball. That's like Kentucky. When Kentucky raises the bar.
Example.
You know what I'm saying? So with that, I would love to be in Lawrence right now on campus. I remember when I was on campus, when both our programs and all the programs were hot, it was a fun time to be on campus. That was one of the best times of my life, because it was like every time you stepped into an arena, or you stepped into the Coliseum, or you stepped into on the track and the indoor, you were seeing victories. And now just think about what Kansas is like right now. They're freaking loving things right now. You gotta be on fire.
They sure are. We can cross our fingers. We can hope that it's Nebraska's turn again soon. But again, got to put in the legwork. Hope is not a strategy. He's Strick. I'm Austin. We'll wrap up on the block in just a sec.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends. Load up on meat and more this holiday season at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through January 2nd is spend $40, get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3. Also, get 15% off wine and spirits only at the North Lincoln location. Don't forget their 2 new locations, now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Tune in to the Malone Radio Show from 9 to 10 p.m. every Sunday night to learn more about the Malone Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln. It's the Malone Radio Show every Sunday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
The holidays are right around the corner. This is a great year to give your family and loved ones the gift of shoes to encourage them to stay active. Fleet Feet Lincoln fits you properly for shoes, and they offer a free group that meets 3 days a week, plus other training programs and a walking group on Mondays. Get healthy, stay healthy with proper shoe wear from Fleet Feet Lincoln and a group of friends that will support you and keep you accountable. Start your health adventure at Fleet Feet Lincoln at 77th and Pioneers.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for high-quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We got sidetracked by BJ in Wichita. We were going to talk about the bigger Heisman snub, Tommy Frazier, or Ndamukong Suh, as well as the upcoming bowl games. Got a few minutes here before we get Thirsty Thursday, bumping with Kevin Myers, Cork and Bottle. Jay Foreman out today, so I'll handle Kevin in the first hour. We'll play a podcast from Jay in the second hour. It should be NFL, college football focused like usual. But Strick, let's dive into a couple of these bowl matchups here quickly while we have a couple minutes. I mentioned Kansas State last segment in conjunction with Kansas, who beat UNLV in their bowl game. You have Kansas State and NC State tonight. Two defense-first head coaches, two defense-first programs, solid 8-9 win teams. But kind of the zero to hero of the season, we thought it was going to be Colorado at first. Turns out it was a different team in the Pac-12. It was Arizona. Jed Fish, the head coach down there, directed a really high-flying offense by the end of the year, played enough defense to get by. Great season out of Arizona, really down in the dumps. They bounced back, but also good for Oklahoma. People were asking, what's Brent Venables going to do in Norman? Is he really the answer? Was him coming home right for Oklahoma? They weren't perfect this year, but Oklahoma definitely showed improvement in year 2 under Brent Venables, and I think they can feel okay heading into the SEC with him at the helm.
Yeah, I mean, what better type of coach to go into the SEC than one that is super defensive minded, that can scheme up and understand the approaches of SEC, difference of styles that they're going to face, because it's different facing an LSU and a Georgia or a Tennessee and an Alabama or even an Ole Miss. I think he gets it. I think he gets it, and I think he's come a long way from the start of what it looked like was going to be a bad tenure where they were calling for his head dang near in the first year. But I think he's going to be fine going into the SEC. It's just going to be how well does he recruit, because the recruiting battles that are still going to ensue is the ones that are already there, and that's Texas, and that's across the bedlam. I mean, that's across the Red River.
River.
And that's going to continue. It's not going to get any easier because where you used to be able to go down in there, some teams might like you just because of the fact, but now you've got to understand you're the far northern team of the SEC, and you're the far western of pretty much outside of going out to El Paso. But Austin is still pretty much in actually it's kind of a straight line up, you could say.
Yeah.
Maybe Austin's a little bit, but Austin, you're right in the middle of Texas, so you got everything you could touch. Whereas they're still going to have, I think, a problem that Nebraska potentially used to have, outside of the fact that they have resources, outside of the fact that they have recent history of success, but I think their entrance into the SEC could determine what happens in their recruiting battles going forward.
I think that's a great point, right? Because they're isolated up there in the north and west of the conference, and the teams that you're close to are Missouri and Arkansas, who aren't exactly lighting the world on fire. I think that's worth digging into, more and more. But let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Let's spend a couple minutes on these games here, Strick. Tomorrow's games. We talked about tonight's bowl matchups. 3 pretty good ones tomorrow. The first game of the day, the Gator Bowl, Clemson against Kentucky. Kentucky, again, just kind of plods along under Mark Stoops. They are a defense-first program. When they have skill position talent, they'll threaten for 9 or 10 wins. Otherwise, they'll be at 7 or 8. But Clemson in the Gator Bowl might ring a bell for Nebraska fans because, Strick, after that 2008 season, Nebraska went to the Gator Bowl and beat Clemson under Bo Pelini. Dabo Swinney had basically just been named the head coach at Clemson. It's kind of wild thinking back, those 15 years now, but just how much the fortunes have changed for Nebraska and Clemson, how Nebraska went down and Clemson shot to its highest heights ever in school history under Dabo.
Yeah, that is an interesting turn of events, but I think Dabo, obviously, their defense is one of the things that were one of their mainstays, and then you end up landing great quarterbacks and Deshaun Watson as well as Trevor Lawrence, and that kind of transcended you. And this is kind of the thing that you hope. Feel me now? Not that it is, but when they transformed like Optimus Prime and became the program that they were for a period of time, guess where it started? On the defensive side of things. That's where they had a lot of their success. Landed a great quarterback in Deshaun Watson.
I'll even go before that, Strick. It started with the defense, but also Taj Boyd.
Taj Boyd, too.
Clemson passing records, and then Taj Boyd handed it off to Deshaun Watson, who handed it off to Kelly Bryant for a year before Trevor Lawrence overtook him.
Facts. There you go. That's the string of 4. But the point I was coming to was, it looks eerily similar because Nebraska's defense under Coach White, A1, thumbs up.
A1 automotive.
Thumbs up, right? So now you've got a quarterback that everybody's high on. If he turns out to be a gem, how that can set the snowball running downhill to become what Nebraska, the brand of Nebraska used to be. And that's what you're hoping you're able to see, is that transform. Like, the only difference between Clemson right now and why Clemson has fallen a little bit is because they didn't change with the times.
Right.
He was stubborn like Blockbuster, right? Blockbuster saw Netflix, and not Netflix, but saw Redbox come in, and they were like, that's a small little thing. They stick outside my door. You can stay out there. You can stay outside, old Redbox. And then Blockbuster ends up shutting their doors. Block busted. And that's the only problem with Clemson. They just didn't adjust with the changes of the NIL and some of those shifts. And now they're behind the curve in a place that's already tough to get people to, which is, in the bowels of South Carolina. And it's a good college town, but you've got to distinguish yourself a little bit. I mean, it ain't as sexy as going down to Florida State or going down to Miami, or it ain't sexy as going even down to North Carolina, where they still don't have success, or going to Georgia, or which is outside of Atlanta a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not sexy.
The other two games to look at are the Sun Bowl. You have Oregon State and Notre Dame. Big props to Oregon State. Huge turnaround the last couple of years under Nick's boy, Jonathan Smith, now the new head coach at Michigan State. Strick, I didn't realize this for Notre Dame. We think of them as, one of the all-time historic programs and absolute blue blood, no questions asked. They've made a bowl game 7 years in a row now, which is the second longest streak in program history. The previous long, 9 years. Notre Dame hasn't even been to a bowl game every year in a decade, which is kind of weird to think about for a team that's held in such high regard historically as Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's wild. I say in this game, estimate me. Give that man the ball and let him roll. And I'm not talking about roll tide. I'm talking about let that young man roll. If you want to beat this Oregon State team, you better have a high estimate. Not estimate. Don't add the ENT, but have a high estimate because that young man, I watched him and he's a load. He's a load.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he sure is. I think I see Kevin Meyer rolling up, so we'll get out of here during On the Block. Turn it over to Old School. The other game tonight is the Liberty Bowl. You've got Memphis and Iowa State. Lots to get to tomorrow, Stricky. I'm thinking we hit some Husker hoops. I'm thinking
shout out to Missouri, man. Shout out to Missouri and O State. That's going down tonight too. Or tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Should be tomorrow. Yeah. We'll talk about that one. That's a big one for the Tigers. We'll see what the Buckeyes look like down as many starters. Stricky, it's been fun. We'll do it again tomorrow, my man.
Yes, sir.
There we go. For Strick, I'm Austin. This has been On the Block in 93.7 The Ticket. We'll throw it to break when we get back. Kevin Meyer, Meyer's Cork and Bottle with Thirsty Thursday, leading off Old School. Again, for Strick, I'm Austin. Stay tuned for Old School. Jay Foreman on the other side.
Are you looking for some holiday fun? This year, start a new tradition. Make the Nebraska Christmas Lights Show experience an annual event for your family and a cherished memory to look forward to every year. From Black Friday to January 3rd, buckle up and tune into the rhythm of the lights and let the magic of Christmas take over with the show. Now located at Star City Shores, just off of 27th and Highway 2. Buy your tickets for just $20 or $25 per car today at NebraskaChristmasLightShow.com.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Hi, I'm Steve Carper, and I'm here to tell you that there's never been a better time to buy flooring. Whether you need carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you gotta come to O Street Carpet. With our 12-month interest-free financing, you can do one room or your whole house and leave your holiday budget intact. And with our huge in-stock selection, you can buy today and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for high-quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete